Hi everybody in YouTube world, it's June, your tarot queen, mouth of the south, whatever you want to call me. This is my good friend Kim. If you remember my live or if you watched my live, Kim was on there and we were talking about the healing properties of honey. And she was the one that first told me about that a long time ago. And I remember, surprisingly, she knows a lot about different stones and different healing properties of different herbs, like mugwort with pain and tastes bad. But anyway, she knows a lot of different things. I'm trying to get her to do her own YouTube channel. We'll see if we can't get her to do it. It'll be fun. So first we're gonna, I'm gonna kind of let Kim talk about some of the stones we have on our table, and she has some in her earrings. She's wearing tanzanite earrings, and it's kind of a purple, and if you looked really close you could see they look like string cheese. It's got those real fine little lines. You feel like you could just
go north to south lines.
Yeah, like you can peel it off. But anyway, those are good for connecting your mind energy with your heart and your spirit. And it helps to keep you regulated. You're not being too emotional.
Yeah, keeps you even key. We're good.
Yeah, calm.
So things come and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay right here and stay calm.
So it actually is for worry, more worry than...
Well, stress doesn't really have to be worry. Just you got a lot going on, a lot of people pulling you in different directions. It keeps you from biting anybody's head off. Just kind of makes you, all right, give me a minute. I got this. Give me a minute. All right. Now, what do you need? It gives you that time.
Energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't say, don't call me anymore, I'm crazy. Click. You don't do that. So it helps.
And then we have, and I was talking a little bit about this stone. This is my ruby zoisite earrings myself. And I was telling on one of my videos about when my daughter passed away and I wore that stone, that it actually changed colors. And it is ruby zoisite.
Pretty.
And you want to tell what this does?
No.
She said no. Kim's kind of shy, you guys. But that's ruby zoisite, and it actually turned like a darker color. It is known as a grieving stone, is what it is. And I had talked a little bit about that in one of my videos the other day. I was wanting Kim to talk a little bit more about the stones than me, because she knows a lot of different healing properties than I do. She's like my go-to encyclopedia when it comes to stones, sort of, and healing stuff.
Well, you can start it, and I'll just put in my 2 cents when you don't do something.
Okay, so this, it has my daughter's name on it, since we were just talking about her. This is actually a man-made stone, and it's called opalite, and it has the same principles as like a moonstone, and so it's more like feminine energy. It helps with like female stuff, anything that starts with a man, like menopause, menstruation.
Kind of like to be calming too.
Yeah,
just calming
and keep you from having those mood swings maybe that you have when you have your cycle or don't have your cycle in some cases. So that's what opalite does. It is a man-made stone. So just because stones are man-made doesn't mean they don't have properties. A lot of things have properties that we wouldn't necessarily think have properties. So, and she was telling me about a prophecy stone, and I think she has it in her pocket. She's not wanting to show it.
Oh, it's not in my pocket. I'll get it.
She said, it's not inside my pocket, but I'll get it. She said, it's always really warm.
There you go. That's the prophecy stone.
And this is a prophecy stone, so it's got minerals like
I can't remember what the center mineral is, and then the black mineral grows over it, and it helps you center. It helps you connect to other places and
realms.
Yeah, we can say that word. Okay, it helps you connect to realms and helps you bring in information
that you may want to know. Like,
yeah.
It's also like prophecy is future, right?
Yeah.
Or prophetic, it's
sightings and things.
Yeah.
Like I had it on my husband, God bless him. He's as about normal as you can get. And he had a friend who died. I had the stone on me. And
at the stone on her. She ain't kidding.
Yeah, and I was doing meditations and stuff like that, so I was wide open. And he comes out, he's like, "Oh God, honey, you gotta meet this guy." I held his hand and I saw a ghost. Now, for my mortal husband to see a ghost, I'm like, "Oh hell, I gotta meet this man." Oh yeah, And I go out there and I shake his hand. I didn't see any one ghost. He was talking about it linear. He looked like a friend of his that died. So seeing him was seeing a ghost. And here I am. I saw the 3 taller men that were with him, that were from his youth. And I saw his past. I grabbed his hand and I started reading him. And I'm trying to be normal. And I'm looking for the ghost. There was no ghost. It was no ghost.
So, but it does help you.
It does help you. Yeah, because I started seeing the man's business. I started seeing how in his young days he was a biker, and the 3 buddies who are now passed that were hanging out with him he was looking at our house for selling our house. So they were with him while he's trying to decide, moving and whatnot. So his 3 buddies were with him, and I saw the silhouettes of the 3 buddies behind the dude. Yeah.
And did you get the feeling if he was going to buy your house or not?
I said, it'd be funny if he didn't, because my husband's friend's name and my husband's first name was the man's name.
Wow. How about
That's
that?
what I said. I said, oh, that was special.
Yeah, and see, the prophecy stone, which she had on her,
I had on me,
is it's a foreteller, so it will kind of give you hints and your own personal interpretation.
Yeah,
I guess is what it would mean.
Things into focus and things you're trying to
figure out what to do about, or something of that nature. And this is a kyanite. And there are certain stones that I know you do not put out in the rain or out in the sun, or
selenite,
kyanite.
All the nights.
All the nights don't put in the sun. How I cleanse the selenite is I will bury it, and then I'll put a little marker so I can dig it back up after Mother Earth has taken the negativity away.
You could also put it on a cluster. You can put it on an amethyst cluster. You can put it on a quartz cluster. You can put it on white selenite.
It's a natural charger itself, though.
But if you put it on the white selenite or on the amethyst, it'll clean it and charge it.
Because the selenite is a natural cleanser,
right?
And then the crystal quartz is a natural charger.
Yeah.
And then, but Mother Earth is also a cleanser. That's why they tell you to walk barefoot sometimes.
Yes, it grounds you. It's also a cleanser. Put in the sun. There's certain stones you shouldn't put in the sun.
Yeah, they'll fade. Yeah. But this one, I've had it for a long time.
Beautiful.
And the healing properties, I don't know if you guys can really get a really good look at this stone or not. It's, it's not very big and it's thin, but I had put this on Kevin's spinal cord because I've heard that it is really good to help spinal cord injuries. So I had put it, right in between his shoulder blades where his neck is, where his spinal cord injury was. And after I did that, now granted, we were doing some, physical therapy, not that day, but a different day, and some TENS stuff, electrical stimulation to, help bring the mind back to your limbs, or, help it go through the spinal cord. But anyway, after I did this, he was able to move his hand up a little bit. Now, he still has no control over his fingers or anything, but
It's
I need
gonna
to start
take
putting
time.
this on there.
Yeah, I put it on more frequently.
Yeah.
Like 1 week, put it on, cleanse it, put it on, cleanse it. Because you can put it right there by the amethyst cluster, and then that'll clean it.
I didn't know an amethyst was a cleanser. I always
Clusters.
clusters, not just an
Not
amethyst
just an
stone.
amethyst. Clusters.
Okay. Yeah.
But now amethyst is a healing stone.
Yeah, it's also a calming stone.
Yes, I'd slide that sucker under his bed.
Well, okay.
I'd put it under his bed.
Yeah.
And do that. It's a protection stone. It'll protect you from things attacking. It will help your body heal. And it will also change color if you keep it in the light too long.
Mm-hmm.
The more light it gets, the lighter the purple will become, where it'll get clear.
Did you know that also amethyst, when it is close to the earth and under lots of pressure, like you can make diamonds are made from coal.
Right.
They're just under a lot of pressure. So therefore they become clear and sparkly. Citrine is in, sorry, I got Kevin's wedding band holding that up. Citrine is actually an amethyst pressed close to the earth, and more heat is absorbed in citrine. Citrine is known, it's my favorite stone. I mean, I love citrine. I love the yellow colors. I love the orange. Now this is, and if you put this in the sun, it will change. It will get lighter. And two, they say the older the stone, the lighter it is. So I've got another citrine cluster out in the living room that's really a dark, like a burnt yellow. Like it's really, really like almost a brown. Yeah. So I've got a bunch of different clusters, and you know, that's what it looked like, you know, and then they polished that off. It kind of reminds me of Pac-Man. I'm gonna eat your ass. So anyway, it's like citrine is known, I know, as the feel better stone. So I can see where amethyst would be a healing stone, because this is known as the feel better stone and the money stone, as well as
but the properties change once it goes through the tree. It's like a butterfly. You know, it transmutes, it changes into this. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've used that for like for my kids or other children who've come to me because they're creepy crawlies in their room that nobody can see but them. Or ghosts, I guess. We're just going to talk normal. I'm so used to keeping everything in the closet. The ghost in the room. There's one particular ghost that comes to children a lot, especially if they're really clairvoyant. And he's on the darker side, and he tries to manipulate and feed off of them and do what he can get away with. And you've heard of him. He's got a black top hat, come straight, brim, red eyes, always wears black. And she was seeing it. She talked, the child. She was 7 years old. I met her when she was 5. No, I met her when she was 7. She had her mother call me, except when I had the store. And I met her there. And 2 years, I told her, baby, because I knew she was clairvoyant. I said, if you see anything or anything scares you, you hear mommy call me. I'll come by and help you. And she did. 2 years later, she says, my daughter just came out of the blue, told me I need to call that lady who had this da-da-da-da. She said, June? She said, no, the other one with the dark hair. I said, okay. She said, if I see anything in my room that scared me, to call her. So she called me. I was like, oh, wow. All right. And that's what's bothering her. So after we got rid of it, and then I put the amethyst by her bed in case anything within the time that it took the energy to solidify to protect her and clean the room tried sneaking back in, they couldn't get near her bed. Right. So I kept.
But they could still get in the room.
They can get in the room, but they can only go so close.
Right.
But it's not because of just the stone. It's my intention talking to the stone.
Right.
I talk to the stone and say, look, this is it. Protect this child. Said a prayer. Did all that, holding the stone, and then set the stone down. Then told her, don't let anybody else touch the stone but you and your mother. And she said, that's it. She never had a problem. Never saw it again.
Oh, cool. Cool. So if you got kids that are seeing something in the room, you might want to try that. Or call Cam. That's what I do. I'm like, okay, I can handle, spirits and ghosts and things if they're cool. Like I'll see orbs and stuff flying around in here. I don't know if you felt any energy in here, but
I'm
there's been a
so
lot of...
used to, yeah. I don't worry about coming in here. Usually if I go into somebody's environment who I don't know, I got walls up. I ain't feeling nothing unless I decide to look for it, because I'm here to see the person, not get caught up in their drama.
Right.
Because a lot of people come off, it's like, hi, how you doing? And the house feels like, oh, hell, what's been going on in here? And they won't tell you because everybody puts on airs. You know, they're not like you or me who really doesn't care. You know, it is what it is. Well, I was trying to be nice, but since you asked, yeah, we'll tell you everything. So I tend to put walls up. Like if I won't go into Walmart when it's busy, I'll put it when it's slower. I'll put walls up. I go to Walmart, get what I got to get, and get out. Which drives my sister crazy because she likes to shop.
I hate to
I'm
shop
like,
too.
baby, I'll be waiting in the car. I'm not staying in the store.
I got sun-kissed, guys.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So is that kind of a thing?
Well, you've always been a...
Yeah, if I didn't feel anything negative.
What do they call that?
Sensitive?
Well, sensitive, but no, you're empath.
Yeah.
Empathic.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Now,
that...
if I would have walked in here and felt something that was, oh, hell, I would have said, Jim, what's going on? Who was in the house? Because normally your house isn't like that. So I would have thought somebody came and dropped something off.
Yeah.
And went on.
Well, they're not maleficent in here. I think they're just coming in.
Not
I think it's more like harmony.
Yeah, the energy here is family. It's very light and airy. It's very pleasant, like a clean energy, you know, pleasant. It doesn't feels on the higher spectrum. It doesn't feel like if I walked into...
Like tense.
Right. No, there's no tension. I don't feel tension. No.
Or thick, like you can cut it with a knife.
No.
Yeah.
Then you and I would have had a discussion.
Yeah.
Girl, what's going on? Everything's fine. You're lying. You're lying so much.
You better stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know me. I don't lie. So
yeah, I know.
I would've told you.
Yeah.
I would have had you over prior to that. So there's all kinds of different stones. I know that... I used to say, like, onyx is a protection stone. It's a wonderful protection stone, but onyx protects you from the physical, like, she's physical. It protects you from the physical, where, like, tourmaline protects you from black tourmaline, not rainbow or watermelon.
No, watermelon tourmaline's for your heart.
Right, and it's also good for some other, it's also very rare. The rarest of...
It used to not be, became rare.
Yeah, and the rarest is the blue tourmaline, actually.
Yeah.
Because you hardly ever see. You'll see black or you'll see green tourmaline, usually. Yeah. But the black tourmaline is really good for protecting from the unknown or something you can't see.
Negative attacks,
something you can't really touch, but there's something there. And you know there's something there, so you can sense it, but you can't see it and touch it. And I usually put like black tourmaline over my windowsills or over my entry doors so that if you mean me harm, you can't come in. You know, it just blocks you from coming in. And I always put, like, if this is tourmaline, I'll put it on my windowsill and then I'll put a crystal quartz with it to keep it charged up. Because, or not my windowsill, but my door facing. Oh, I'm sorry. My door facing. So I will make sure they're kind of touching so that crystal quartz, clear crystal quartz, will keep it charged. Now, there are other crystal quartz, like we were talking about phantom quartz and I can never say the word of it. It's not Larimar, it's Lemire, and it's like a record-keeping stone. It talks about
record-keeping quartz.
Yeah. It talks about all the lives you've lived prior to. And some people can read those if it's your stone and you hand it to somebody.
Sometimes the stone will have information for you. Where if you're sleeping with it, you have it next to your end bed or something like that, and you start getting that connection with it, you'll start getting information in your dreams if you remember them. If you don't remember them, you're still getting the information subconsciously. So then you'll notice in a few months or whatever, you're like, how come that doesn't react? I don't react that way anymore. How did I know that? I don't know why I know that, but I know that. You know, so it just depends on how intuitive the person is to how they know where they're getting the information from.
Right.
Because you don't have to be intuitive to get the information.
Well, everybody's intuitive. And some
Yeah,
former
but some are
than
heavier than others. You
And
got
some-
your intuitives that are sit kumbaya and do everything, eat right, do everything right. And then you got some intuitives like a tequila from now and then, here in time to time. Things change.
sun-kissed.
Yes, you got all kinds of intuitives. You got negative intuitives, you got positive intuitives.
That's true.
So you never, it depends. Usually a record keeper won't give up information unless it's for you.
Right.
So if you go through your intuitive state, oh, well, like I gotta have that. Like this
Prophecy.
big prophecy stone I had. I wasn't going looking for it. I was just walking in the store. What was I going to the store for? I was going there to get something. I don't remember what the heck it was. A candle. I was going to do a full moon ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going in to get a silver candle. So I'm going to get a silver candle and I'm walking, whoop. I felt this pull. So I turned, I'm looking down at all the quartz and all the little stones and stuff. I said, I got just about every one of these. I don't know what it is. And as I looked up, I went, oh, what are you?
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but that's the way it works.
Yeah.
And-
For some people's, for some folks it
Yeah.
works that way. It's like I used to teach, or I used to do, not teach, because I think some people are more enlightened than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I only think that because they embrace it and they allow their inner self to feel it. Like you said, you put walls up when you're going certain places and doing certain things because you're empathic. So you're getting information whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
So that's why you're putting walls up. And there are there's quite a bit more, but the 4 major ones are prophetic, which is where a philosophy stone would come in handy. And then prophetic is like knowing. You just know. You don't know how you know, but you know. And that's where my intuition comes from. And it comes out quick. And then you have empath, where you feel things. And you have clairaudient and clairvoyant. Clairaudient is hearing.
More than one.
Oh, you have them all.
Yeah.
It's just you're stronger in one or the other.
Yeah.
And then, or multiple, like I think when I did that test for you that time, you were the only person ever, and I've done this class or this workshop quite a few times, and she was the only one that scored evenly in all 4 reception areas, and that was clairaudient, clairvoyance, and prophetic. And
I think my weaker one was the visual.
Well,
No?
you took it again. You took it a second time.
I don't remember.
And then the second time you were weaker in your clairvoyant. But no, you had the accident when you took the first one. So I want to say after that motorcycle accident,
the second one was when I had
really hurt your.
That's what I remember. The third eye. Yeah.
It really knocked it out of whack or something because it was a lot. It wasn't a lot lower, but it was different. It was different.
That makes sense. So we didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the different. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's still heavy because the motorcycle accident, it takes a while for your brain to get back to
somewhat normal.
Yeah. It does.
Or even, and especially when you're trying. I mean the head injury and spinal cord injuries, I believe, are 2 of the worst injuries that a person could have as far as injuries go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can break your back and that's going to hurt like heck, but it didn't affect your mind and didn't affect your,
I didn't even realize it did affect
mobility.
my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Until now I go back, I'm like, now wait a minute. All right,
Yeah, so, I mean, she did it twice, and she was the first person that ever, when I did that she had, like, the same scores all the way down. And then the 4, and then with clairvoyance, you have some offbeats, like some people will see symbols, some people will dream, some people will see movies, so we all have it. We've all had that deja vu moment too. And also, which brings me to this appetite, which is about dreaming and calming your overactive mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes like a lady used to tell me that there's some things you can do nothing about, and there's some things that you bring upon yourself And there's some things that just happen. That just happens to you. So if you can get an appetite, you can chill maybe and not worry so much with things that make your mind run and not let you sleep or not let you remember your dreams. This will help you to remember your dreams. It's very pretty. It's got blue and kind of reminds me of a deep dark blue labradorite. And labradorite is also a very good one for your third eye. I don't have one in here. You might have one in your pocket somewhere. But anyway, so I mean, I'm trying to get Kim to do a little one of these YouTube channels herself. She will probably hopefully be she would probably a guest on my show if she doesn't want to do it, and we could talk about some other things like stones or even herbs that you can use for self-healing purposes and things that help you to get over like the loss of a loved one, or help you not get over it but help you cope with it, I should say, because you never really get over it, until you're over it.
Yeah.
Until you're over there.
That's kind of individually based things. Not everybody sees death the same way, and not everybody deals with emotions the same way.
That's true.
That's like my sister, she's a drama queen. She's and they're like, wow, that sucks. All right, well, I'll see you when I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Watch out, keep an eye on me, because I'm getting in trouble. Just let me know. People have different
takes to it. The other side, and there is no. I had a friend of mine that was at the Shepherd Center, and her mother had passed away, but I didn't know this until I kept thinking about her, and we have this thing about 11:11. This lady that was at the Shepherd Center and myself, and so every time we see it, we'll snap a picture and send it to the other one. Well, I had snapped a picture and I never heard anything. Usually she's like, oh, cool, or something. So I didn't hear anything, and she'd been on my mind for
she passed
for a while. No, her mother.
Oh,
she was taking care of her mother and her father, and her mother passed away in January. So I mean, she had been on my mind a lot lately, and one of our mutual friends, her dad passed away, her brothers passed away, and she still ain't over her mother passing away. And that's
some people, it depends how you see death. So that's kind of a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah.
I look at death just, I'll be there eventually. So
they
just got to the party ahead of me.
Yeah.
But I'm on my way.
Yeah.
It's coming.
So last I heard, no one here gets out alive. So
no.
But ruby zozite is also a very good grief stone. If you're grief stricken, it can help ease it some.
It also, I think it also helps too. Like, if you can work on your audio. I mean, my aunt died, my grandmother died, and they still talk to me. My mother and I going at it, my aunt will show up and be like, Kim, calm down. You know how she is. Take a breath. I'm
Put
like, really?
Put some tanzanite in your ears.
Even from the other side, really? And I took a course to be a medium. And the woman was teaching the course. And my grandmother, who was a medium, she was a trance medium. They come in your body and talk. And she comes right up to me. And she's Spanish. So she's like, Mia, don't listen to her. She's going to get you hurt. Don't do that. Okay, you can do that. Don't do that. So I was like, wow, okay. So they don't go far. You just got to be able to hear them.
And they can be, in my opinion, they can be in multiple places at one time. Wouldn't that be cool? You could be 4 or 5 of you and be in multiple places.
Well, it's kind of like being a mother with 5 kids.
Yeah, you can be in multiple places at one time.
Yeah, you can. You can hear all 3 kids. Get off that chair, get off that. You're listening to everything.
That's why Mom's got eyes in the back of her head. Don't be doing that.
So it's the same process. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just, it just depends on how you work your spidey senses to whether you click up audio or visual or they drop a feather. If you got, whatever you think of harmony, you pop something up, or you'll see a butterfly, or you see whatever. That's just their way. Whatever tool works at that moment, that's what they send.
Yeah. And I ask Harmony for signs, and there's a book out there. It's called Signs. I can't remember the author, but Holly had bought me, my other daughter had bought me that book for Christmas a few years back. I lent it to somebody. I never did get it back.
That's why I never lend books out.
Darn it. Anyway,
nope.
I can get it again. It's not a big deal, but I really would have liked to have the one that Holly gave me, you know, but can't have everything. But anyway, I won't keep you guys on here too much longer. I just wanted you guys to meet, in my opinion, the legend, the myth, the honey person.
The honey thing. Honey's amazing.
Yes.
It's got to be organic.
Raw
honey.
Yeah. Can't be that processed stuff.
No.
Can't have no other things other than bees and the beekeeper that gets it out of there.
Yep. That's it.
Yep. So, I mean, and it does work. I mean, it's worked on Kevin. It's worked on your
grew back some fingers there.
Yes, it sure did. And I saw that myself. I mean, I was like, dang, that's pretty good. So, I mean, she's the one I always call when I have something that I personally am not sure if it's harmful or if I don't want it around, I'm calling Kim. Or if I have a question about a herb, say like mugwort, or they made.
I know the herbs I use and what I use it for. There's so many herbs, just like there's so many crystals.
Right.
You can't keep up with everything.
Yeah.
And if you do, God bless you with a brain, because I didn't get that. That's why man made books. No.
Yeah. And if you look it up on Google, I mean, I always say to get a book that you trust. Just because I trust the Book of Stones doesn't mean you should. Some people trust the Crystal Bible. Some people, trust a different book. I personally like the Book of Stones. They constantly upgrade it and put more stones in it.
I've got probably 4 books. Mm-hmm. They're all similar, but they'll have different stones in there. Uh-huh. And then eventually, a few years, I'll pick up another book. Because in all honesty, when I was into the stones reluctantly at the time, I was 23. 23 when I had next. Yeah. So I was 23. I thought my mother was crazy. I said, I'll go to the backyard and dig up rocks for you. You pay me $50 a shot. You're crazy, woman. But then I started seeing things. Then I started experiencing things. Then I went, oh, heck, I'm down the rabbit hole. And it's been a ride ever since. Mm-hmm. But then it was still on the newer side. So the information was less.
Right.
Where now, because people using it and whatnot, the information's come, well, now the amethyst does this, 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 and this. And there's a white amethyst, and there's a purple amethyst, and there's a really purple amethyst.
And then there's a green amethyst.
The green amethyst. There's so many, like, you gotta be kidding me.
So, I'm thinking, so is there a green amethyst? Because there's a green citrine, and that's in between the purple and the...
And is it man-made? Is it not man-made? Does it have properties in it?
Is it heated? Is it not heated?
Right.
So...
It's a rabbit hole.
I know, yeah. And Google, you can look up the same stone and find 20 different meanings for the same stone. And so you got to really think of what you trust, and there are a lot of misinformation out there. And go with what you trust. Go with your instinct. If you want the crystal Bibles, by all means get them. At least you can look in the index and find the stone you need. Right. Like the Book of Stones, you just have to go through the pages and find it.
I like that.
But you can't look in the back of the book and say, okay, it's on page 153.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, so you can't do that with the Book of Stones.
I like it with the pictures because you get to look.
Yeah, and you can see
what.
If it's treated. And sometimes they'll show you it raw, which looks a whole hindsight different than it does if it's polished. Like we'll take lapis lazuli, for instance. When it's raw, it looks gray with the powder blue. And then when you polish it, it's like a cobalt blue. I mean, it is so blue.
I think this is the lapis lazuli, which is the one it looks like. I forget.
Yeah, no, that's lapis lazuli. See, this is I don't know if you guys can see it real good, but This has got silver in it, and this is how you tell it's not sodalite. You see these gray areas look like silver. The sodalite looks like lapis lazuli, but it has white in it, as well as a little bit of silver, but not quite as much silver. But when you find this raw, it is like gray, like a light gray and a light powdered blue. And then once they polish it, that's what you get. And it is very beautiful. Same with, not lapis, you had, oh shoot. I said it was good for the third eye. I don't have one in here. What was it?
How we were talking about so many stones?
I know. Labradorite. Labradorite. That one, when you find it raw, it is not as shiny and pretty as when you find it unraw. And this one, we haven't really talked about this, but this is actually, comes from the sea, and it's actually a sea urchin. And this, when you put it under a black light, it'll show either green or blue. And it's like really
I don't
pretty.
have one of them in my collection. We're going to have to go shopping.
Yeah, I've got another one out there, but it's not broke open. It's just the egg. But
it's only when it's broken open, it shows all the different colors?
Yeah, it'll show it in these little, it looks like felt, but it's not felt in there. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looks like felt.
The crystals.
Yeah. And they'll shine, these, the ones that are brown or black, they shine green, and this right here shines that cobalt blue. It's really pretty under a black light. I don't have a black light right here. And I don't know, I can't remember what the meaning of this is, but it is a sea urchin. So you'll find these in certain areas along, like not in the United States. It's in
tropics.
No, it's, and they have really big ones. I can't remember where it is, but it's not in the United States. This is not a United States sea urchin, I guess, or closer on our shores, but they wash up on the shores in this other country, which is really pretty cool. I'll have to get back with you guys on that. But I don't want to keep you. I know we threw a lot of information, but I mean, I love Google, don't get me wrong. I love Wikipedia from Google, but there is a lot of different information out there. So definitely, you know, get a book or talk to somebody you trust that you feel like really knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, somebody who actually uses them instead of just has them to collect dust. You know, who's had experience with it. Not somebody just trying to sell you something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll tell you anything you need to know.
Yeah, like I can tell you.
Oh, you think, you're having grief problems. Here, get this crystal quartz.
Yeah.
They'll just amplify it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, woo. No.
No.
So anyway, I hope everybody has enjoyed this video. And if you have, please like and subscribe. And tell all your friends, and hopefully they'll like and subscribe too. And hopefully Kim will be back on with me again sometime soon if I haven't scared her to death. And till next time, stay mystical.